he talks about the gatekeepers and the gatekeepers in the aspect of the homosexuality, or just say gay. And when you first hear this, you go, oh man, that's some bullshit. But then again, on the other hand, if you just study the history of us just being in this country, some of the people that was key in our revolution and liberation was gay or, bisexual. So this means we need to look real close into this type of thing and say, because we're not talking about religion here. Religion, tells you all this. We're not into this right and wrong and do and don't. Because we don't know what a motherfucker do in their bedroom. It's so personal. Mm-hmm. So really, it's really a stupid question for you to try to regulate what a person do in private. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? When you really look at this type of thing, when you really look at this type of thing, and I had to really look at these things, because what we're dealing with now, we're dealing with this goddess, Venus, which is a god of the heart chakra. So they don't deal on morality and these social structures. They deal on what motherfucker got the light. And it's interesting here because there's people like, and I say, let me think about this, because it was Kwame Ture said that the white gays, because everything is political with them, because they're trying to get a political structure. Sure. They came to him and said, we want you to head up the gay thing, because some of our people getting killed with the gay bashing. He said, well, I can't do that. He said, why? He said, because that's not my culture. They said, what do you mean by that? He said, look, we knew that James Baldwin was gay, but he was helping us in the struggle.
Right.
And nobody tripped, because when the shit came down, black people was humane enough to go say, look, does that shit really matter? You see what I'm saying? Now, if you get into this religion, that's mind control. Yeah. You dealing with a doctrine that somebody put, you know what I'm saying? And he said, so that ain't our thing. He said, we don't have no problem like that. You see what I'm saying? We went up now, and I said, well, that's interesting. James Baldwin. Then Byron Rustin. Here's a man who basically was the architect of the whole March on Washington. Not only that, people don't understand the role he played. He had to train Martin Luther King, all the same people. He had to train them on how to go into Mississippi and Alabama and not get killed. Because this so-called gay person did it 10 years and 15 years before, in the 40s. When it was unheard of. This was before they even killed Hemmitt Till. He was going down into Mississippi and Alabama doing protests, and he had to show them how to go in. This is the man who taught Martin Luther King and them how to go into Alabama, Mississippi, and not get their ass killed. And he's a gay man. So you got to look at that and say, well, man, what the Spirit is saying about this? The Spirit is saying, look, this shit here is not about what a person is doing physically. It's about who got the light. So in the Africans, they was talking about the gatekeepers. The gatekeepers, they say, is supposed to be bisexual. And what Malidoma Tomei is saying, and all, it's also in the Voodoo Gnostic workbook. It costs about $400, $500. Get it off the internet now. You can order it. The Voodoo Gnostic workbook. The gatekeepers, and I'm heterosexual. The gatekeepers, they were saying, was people, because them having the bisexual nature, they were able to see things from another perspective. You see what I'm saying? And so, now, coming from religious training and all this other shit like this and all, yes, you can find a lot of things to say, I ain't with all that kind of shit, but when you look on the spirit realm, and on this realm where they're talking about this new goddess, where it ain't based on what you do physically, and how it's based on what your heart is. Then you got to understand that when they talk about that, they're talking about there's a reason why they got them as a certain amount of gatekeepers. And so he talks about those type things, and I think it's got something to do with a certain mind and energy. And the reason why I say that is this here. You always got to look at what a woman would do. Not what a woman is trained, but what a woman would do. Why is it that the women, some of their best friends was gay? They ain't had no problem hanging out with no gay man. Now with us, it's a social thing or whatever type thing here and all this kind of thing here. But the point I'm trying to make here is, in the spirit realm, You see what I'm saying? They don't look on, they look at just light. And what light is awakened. So if you get into judging, making judgments on people, it's just like in the movie, and the reason why I say that is this here. It's just like in the movie Star Wars, when they told him he wanted him to go, Luke Skywalker, to meet Yoda, the Jedi Master. And when Yoda came, he was a little old, short little thing, living a shithole, eating stew. And he judged him at first, and didn't know this was the Jedi Master they were looking at. And that's the way the spirit realm does. And there's a reason why they will send somebody in your path that is not the conventional way of what you think the spirit is, because the simple fact is, they're trying to get you to look beyond the physical or the apparent. So the gatekeeper thing is on that particular level and all. And they talk about this, and they talk about this in Maladoma Some's thing. They talk about it in a lot of African cultures, as well as like I say, the Voodoo Gnostic Workbook by Michael Bertio or something like that. Voodoo Gnostic Workbook. They talk about the whole gatekeeper thing. So.